Yeah, this is really sad. Damian Lillard's had a really good career. He's a gamer. He's quite a team guy. He's a firebrand. He ruptures his Achilles tendon, and he's 36 years of age. He says, "I'm not going to go out this way. I will be back." But they're talking the injury was so severe, the Dame is not going to play next season. So he'll probably be 37, going on 38, attempting to come back from this ruptured Achilles. It's too bad because he was a cornerstone of everything with the Portland Trail Blazers, and he stayed there and signed a contract extension, and eventually they elected to trade him. Things were just not working out well. Second item in the equation, talking about the Indiana Pacers Milwaukee Bucks playoff series. This has to do with what happened at the end of the game. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a phenomenal player. I think he's a hell of a citizen. He's really an ambassador for the game. He got accosted. He got confronted on the court as the two teams were shaking hands by the father of Tyrese Haliburton, the Indiana Pacers star guard. John Haliburton was sitting on the front row and just bagging on Giannis through the whole course of the game. And then he confronted him as Giannis was trying to shake the hands of other Indiana players, and they exchanged words, and then finally security had to go in there. You know, what right does that old man have the right to go on the floor and create an incident with the star on the other team? I mean, it's bad enough we got drunk fans doing stuff, but a player's father, Tyrese Haliburton, apologized to Giannis this morning, saying his father should have never done that. But the father went on TV, so I got every right to root for my son. Well, not like that. I mean, I'm surprised it frustrating. Milwaukee fell apart because of injuries, substandard season. If it had been anybody else, the guy might have popped Haliburton's father in the face right in front of everybody. I mean, it was just a terrible, terrible story. Miami, what an unbelievably god-awful finish to their season. Thank you, Jimmy Butler. This is the end result of what Jimmy Butler did to the Miami Heat, getting suspended 3 times, demanding to be traded. Pat Riley saying, "You're out of here," etc. So they lose one playoff game to Cleveland by 37, which is an all-time record loss in the playoffs. The last game they played against Cleveland, they lost by 55.
Whoa.
I've never seen a scoreboard like that. I thought, when I looked at it on my laptop, I said, no, that can't be right. It was like 43-14 at one point early. At one point in the game, John, they were down by 63 points, 63 to the Cavaliers at home. This was in Miami.
Oh, man.
And Eric Spoelstra, in his exit press conference, said this will never, ever happen again. Well, unless you get better players in there, it probably will happen again. But what a disaster this whole Miami situation is. WNBA. Interesting story. They're about ready to kick off their season, coming off last year's great season, TV ratings, Caitlin Clark and all that. They're ready to kick off their season. There are more than 100 top players in the WNBA who are going to be free agents at the end of this winter. All their marquee players are free agents that trying to negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement. And by the way, there's still a lot of grudge stuff going on involving Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever. They just printed T-shirts, Indiana Fever logo, and it says, every game is a home game.
Yeah, I saw
just because of their popularity traveling around the league. So that's fascinating. A couple of college basketball notes. This whole situation at USC, they don't know whether he's going to be able to play basketball immediately. We're talking about Gilbert Arenas' son. Elijah Arenas was involved in a horrific auto accident at 5 a.m. on the last week on the morning. And he's lucky he's alive. He got trapped in a Tesla SUV that caught on fire, crushed the vehicle, wrapped it around a tree and a fire hydrant, had to be rescued. 2 men who happened to be on their way to work stopped and broke the windows and got him out of the vehicle. He was on life support. He was in a coma. He's out. He's in stable condition right now, but he's going to go through a lot of rehab. It's going to be a long time. And Sacramento State, these guys are trying to go Division I. They just picked up a couple of transfers. Shaquille O'Neal's son, Shakur, 6'7" forward, Florida A&M, is going to transfer in. He's going to play for Mike Bibby, who's the new basketball coach at Sac State. Okay. And they also picked up Mikey Williams, the controversial guard from here, San Ysidro, tried to go to Memphis State, got involved in a felony gun incident. wound up pleading guilty. They said at Memphis State, we're not admitting you. He went to Central Florida, played half a season there. Now he's gone to Sacramento State. He's a kid that had great accolades at San Ysidro High School, but has bounced around the place. He's like a soldier of fortune, and he's had all these problems off the court. Mikey Williams is going to Sacramento State. Hell, that's a far cry from being at Memphis State, where he thought he was going to play for Penny Hardaway. So, John, go ahead. A lot of topics there. Don't turn the ball over.
Don't turn it over. I mean, can you imagine if you're Tyrese Haliburton, how embarrassing that must be?
You think?
Yeah. And I'm just thinking of, Coach Prime is probably going to be meddling in his son's affairs. And I mean, it's just the whole thing. It's like helicopter parents travel all the way up the ranks, all the way up into the professional with the NBA. I'm very intrigued by this whole Sacramento State thing. I mean, I think it's cool that they're trying really hard to be relevant, and you get Mike Bibby, who wasn't he did he play or coach at the Kings?
He played for the Sacramento Kings, star guard.
Yeah, exactly. So he's legit. And, Shaquille O'Neal, by the way, his son's transferred there, but I read something that Shaq himself was going to be the general manager.
Yeah, he's going to be like a GM consultant with NIL.
It's just a ceremonial position, right?
I think so. He's not moving to Sacramento, no. But he's going to have some input. And Bibby's calling on all of his NBA friends to help him make Sacramento State special out in front of people. It's going to be a long road. They have a young president at Sac State. He's 43 years of age. He's a Sacramento State graduate. He's the one that's pushing his whole agenda. They're trying to get into the Pac-12. That's not going to happen. They're going to probably wind up maybe in the Mountain West Conference in maybe 3 or 4 years, but they're trying to fundraise. They want to build a football stadium for the program. They've applied for a waiver to leave the Big Sky with 1AA and become an independent. Now, they're not going to be Notre Dame, but anyhow.
Maybe BYU.
Maybe, but that's not going to happen in 15 minutes. So
no.
They're trying a lot of aggressive things with a lot of coaches, et cetera. So we'll just see where it goes. But it is interesting that they're going to try to get this basketball thing up and running because there's basketball players in every street corner. And Mike Bibby's trying to use his influence with a lot of different people. So Shaq's older son goes, and now Mikey Williams, who just has accomplished nothing except get in trouble, he's going to hit the reset button. Maybe he goes there and actually plays there, stays healthy, stays out of trouble, and can make something of himself because his career and his life, his credibility has kind of gone off the.
Well, he was busted on gun charges, wasn't he?
Yeah, felony firing shots at people at a party at his house.
So did he get off on that?
Well, they plea bargained down. He did wind up with a felony, wound up with some type of plea bargain suspension, no prison time. Had to go through a year's worth of counseling, et cetera. He's got to stay out of trouble. Period, exclamation point.
Yeah, well, hopefully he can do it. And by the way, just an aside, like 3 or so years ago, I drove up to Sacramento State because my UCSD Tritons, when they first went D1, I was all excited. And I road tripped up to Sacramento to watch them play. That gymnasium at Sac State is like the gymnasium at Poway High School. They got the pull-out bleachers and the whole thing. And so I'm interested to see what they're going to do from a facilities point of view if they want to be big time.
Well, they're going to try and build a 13,000 seat football stadium first and then go from there. Okay. Feel free to jump on board if any of those topics of interest to you.